Welcome back to Talkin' Toads. This is a rarity. We have all three, myself, Reed, Stan. We are all on today. I guess it's a big, important game. Not as important as we thought it was going to be, but there's still some things on the line for the Frogs. We will be previewing the BYU game. Boys, how are we feeling?
I want to ask y'all a question real quick. What are the odds all three of us are on every episode moving forward until the end of the year?
Look, if with the right amount of coordination, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. We just live such crazy lives, I guess.
Right. I'll put that at
Hmm.
20% every episode moving forward. We're right
Yeah, and maybe if we start like winning games, maybe that'll help as well.
Yeah, we've done some internal soul searching, and we've noticed that our buy-in sometimes isn't the best because of the frogs losing, and we need to up that energy up because if we don't, who will? No, it's this is not where we want it to be. TCU is obviously now 6-3 on the season and headed to Provo against a really good 8-1 BYU team, fresh off of their first loss. So it's not ideal. They're going to be pretty pissed off, and we just happen to hit the crossroads there right at the wrong time. So we'll preview this episode, go through some advantages and disadvantages of the game, and then we'll go through our usual five big bets across the college football landscape too. So we'll keep it going.
Keep it going. How are you feeling? I know you'll be in Provo tomorrow
Yep.
night, right? Are you ready to get drunk on some soda and candy? How are we feeling?
Hot drinks as well. Don't forget that. No, I'm excited to meet some frog fans out there. I am excited to go check it out. Provo's a bucket list item. Want to see that stadium with the backdrop. It just seems like a really cool atmosphere. Uh, it was the risk when you book this trip before the season starts that this very well could have been a 4-5 TCU going to travel against a 6-3 BYU team, and we had no idea what this was going to look like. Obviously, wish there was more at stake, but I got to tell you, the seeing the line from Vegas has given me a little bit something more to think about. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah,
It'll be cool.
I mean, I think you should. I mean, at least we're playing a ranked team for once. I mean, how long has it been since we've actually played a ranked team? So, I mean, that's where you want to be. You want to be playing like other good teams. So, I mean, even if we're not the best team, at least we have a chance to spoil someone's season. Make a big noise for once. I mean, it's not the ideal game time for us with it being so late, but let's play spoiler.
Yeah, I like it. Spoilers a good. That's a good way to look at it.
Dan, you stole the words right out of my mouth. We really have nothing to play for, but it's always fun ruining someone else's season, and we could definitely do that with BYU because even though they lost to Tech last week, they're still number two in the Big 12 because Tech only has one loss as well. So they're right behind Tech because they have that tiebreaker over Utah. So I don't know. Let's help the Utes out and get them in the Big 12 title game and not BYU.
Yeah, I wish I had maybe some more hatred towards BYU, and maybe we'll see how the fans are on Saturday. But I like playing spoiler, and yeah, and I kind of like in a way we don't really our backs are against the wall. We don't really have anything else to play for, so let's have some fun. Maybe less stress involved while I'm there.
I gotta call myself out real quick. Utah also has two Big 12 losses, so even if BYU loses here, I think they would still be number two in the Big 12. Just quick side note on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no doubt that their injuries are starting to pile up. We'll talk through that as well. It's a big game. TCU is as much as we joke and as disappointed as we are. I can't imagine BYU looks at this TCU team and thinks they can walk all over them. Um, maybe we'll
Oh,
maybe read things differently, but we'll talk through that too.
I mean, they might be having sort of PTSD from Mountain West years of us kind of giving it to them. I mean, obviously the younger fans, they're not going to have much of a clue, but a lot of people our age to older are going to remember some pretty big games and some pretty big wins on our side. So they're definitely not overlooking it, at least from the older fans' perspective.
Andy Dalton just sliced up BYU every time he played them. That was great to watch. You had Jeremy Curley out there. Oh, it was just wonderful football. Kind of not what we have today, to say the least. But yeah, Lester, you brought up a good point. It's only -4.5 for BYU. What did y'all expect for it to open up at? I was assuming like 10 at least, 9 or 10 probably.
Yeah, they always give the home team what 3 points is what they say. So 10 probably would have been good. I don't know. I always land on like 7.5. Is kind of feels like that's what they value TCU at in these types of games. But
So
so to see it drop down to 4.5 is quite surprising.
I'm actually going to go wildly different than you guys. If you remember last podcast I was on, I actually thought TCU would be favored, just because of the power rating stuff, and with them being a Tech, to Tech they were a 10.5 point dog, and by the way, I did predict Tech would easily beat them. Although I also thought we would easily beat Iowa State, so mea culpa on that end. But yeah, I actually thought we would stomp Iowa State, and then we would actually be a 3 point favorite to BYU, which would be another surprising line. I mean, I think with us playing so poorly last week, and then also being a home game for BYU, so they get a few points there, that they have to give BYU some respect. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we won it all. I mean, I don't think they're that great. I mean, they have good players and they've had some good wins and really close wins. But I mean, if you look at their talent, their roster, I don't think it's that much different than ours.
No, and I would say we have the better overall roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think our defense will be able to hold up pretty well. It's just our offense, to me, that's the one in question. Because the past few times we've gone on the road, it really hasn't been pretty. Multiple turnovers. Hoover definitely doesn't look the same on the road. So it'll be interesting to see how Hoover has the guys ready. Same with the Bryles. But yeah, I think our defense lines up pretty well against them. What do you have, Les?
Yeah, agreed. When you just kind of look at net rankings, we should have a more talented offense. They have a really good run game, and their defense is solid. But you're right, talent wise, there's no one that sticks out as first round NFL talent, second round NFL talent that really kind of put them over the edge. And maybe that's what they're missing in some pockets. But they're a sound team, and they play well at home. So I think maybe the line is probably right where it should be. And I agree with Stan. I wouldn't be surprised if we sneak a win. It would be kind of frustrating in a way. At the same time, I could see us losing by 17 as well. So I don't know how to feel. 2 years ago, if you remember, Hoover, his very first start was against BYU at home, and he completely kind of knocked their doors off. So I don't think they saw that coming. I don't know exactly how many players on that team were part of that team and now still on BYU's roster. But they obviously have some respect level for Hoover and that offense, and they know what they can do.
Yeah, and you have to give a lot of credit to Kalani Sitake as well. He's kind of a coach that goes under the radar. I don't know if it's just because he's at BYU, but considering the roster he has, it's probably the, I don't know, fifth most talented roster in the Big 12 behind Tech, Utah, TCU, maybe even Cincinnati in there. He always just has the guys playing well, and I think last year they finished 9-3, so it's two back-to-back seasons in a row where they're going to have a good record. He's a coach that really does a lot more than what his roster is really capable of, in my opinion. So BYU's lucky to have him, and boy, I wouldn't mind to have him at TCU.
They do have an interesting storyline. Bear Bachmeier was not supposed to be the starting quarterback this year. We obviously know that their quarterback situation was a bit of some melees going on there, but kind of interesting that this wasn't the original plan. And I've seen a little bit of Bears play. He runs the ball, I think, a lot more than what people were expecting him to. And his pass game has been, call it okay, but I would say his running attack has been kind of the most lethal. It kind of reminds me a little bit of TCU's run a few years ago, where Max wasn't the original plan, and then things happened, and Max ended up being that running quarterback that just kind of took people by surprise.
BYU just seems like, to me, they're like the K-State replacement. Like they got like that quarterback who can throw it okay, and then runs the ball well, and then they're actually kind of good on defense. Like for their, I mean, Tech was a different story, obviously. Just they were kind of overpowering them. But when they actually play a team that's on their, skill level, like they're defensively sound and special teams and all that. So yeah, they just kind of remind me of like a classic K-State team, just like kind of ugly, almost like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like they just somehow win games that they shouldn't win.
Right. They're
They
just
out
there.
physical you. Yeah. I don't know how much I watched of the BYU Tech game last week, but Pat McAfee said Bear Bachmeier's 265 pounds. I find that hard to believe. I would guess more like 230.
Yeah, yeah. There's no
Wow.
way he's that big. I mean, and is he a true freshman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be annoying for years to come. There's no doubt about it.
And we have to go back. He's number 47. When you're a quarterback and you wear number 47, sorry, buddy, someone's got to hit you hard. You just look stupid wearing that.
That is true. That can't be forgotten.
Exactly. And I know, like, we've talked about how BYU, they win games that they really shouldn't, kind of like the Steelers in a way that Stan was alluding to. But you got to give credit to their defense because against Texas Tech, Tech scored 7 times, but 5 of those were only field goals. So I think a really critical point of this game is going to be how our red zone offense performs against their red zone defense. Because from the stats and everything, BYU has a really good red zone defense, and our red zone offense is not pretty. So yeah, I just think that's going to be a big part of the game.
Neither is our red zone special teams.
Yeah, they say our kickers. Yeah, we don't really kick field goals, so I mean, we kind of have to score a touchdown.
That does not bode well for us. It also doesn't bode well that the latest injury report has come out, and it doesn't look like Kavorian Barnes will be playing in this game either. I wonder if they're just going to shut him down for the season. He's clearly not right, and yeah, that's a huge bummer.
I don't know if they should for the season, though. I think it should be his call because he's a senior. Is he going to go to the NFL? I don't know. Maybe he might be like a train camp type of guy, but if he can play and wants to play, I wouldn't shut him down because you really have nothing to lose for next year with him.
I got to look. Is he eligible to play a second year, though?
I don't think so.
I think the COVID years are done at this point.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah, it's going to be you'll probably see Trent Battle out there to start. He's been more of the second guy recently. I'm assuming Payne will be the third. But after his fumble last week, do y'all expect him to be the backup or maybe Palmer or Denman?
Didn't Payne get more carries last week?
He did, but I'm saying since he had that fumble that basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who lines up on the first play, but I would expect probably very similar carries between Battle and Payne. Doesn't feel like they have a lot to do with Denman at this point. And by the way, I'm not worried about Payne or Battle. I think they're really good running backs. I think that was obviously just one of those dumb plays that just happens. I just count that as a fumble. I don't knock him too hard for that, and I don't think he should lose carries because of it.
I agree. I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot of good carries last week. I know he had a couple 10-plus yarders, and really there hasn't been too many of those over the past year. So that was good to see. Going back to last week quickly, is there anything that we did against Iowa State that makes y'all even more nervous playing against BYU?
I mean, yeah, our offensive line was non-existent. It got swallowed up by a sea of red and yellow. I mean, BYU's also did the same against Texas Tech. So I think it's actually kind of pointing towards a lower score game, which makes you think that like some plays will be really big, like just turnovers and special teams and stuff like that, which I think kind of favors like BYU because they're a little bit less like sloppy. And this is going back to the K-State, the Pittsburgh Steelers thing.
So you're saying they're a well-coached team and we are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know what they do? They do everything. It seems like they do everything right. They're not super flashy on either side of the ball. They're sound. I think one thing TCU could try to do is throw them off a little bit. Try for some big plays. They don't give up a ton of big plays on defense. This is a game where Eric McAllister needs to show me that he's just a little bit different. He has those moments. Um, Sometimes they're in moments when we don't really need it, or sometimes they're in moments like the SMU game where it was super clutch. Um, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I want Bryles and our offense to come up with something kind of fun to just throw them for a loop, because that's how you're going to get an edge. And we
Is
know our
Bryles
confidence level on that.
is Bryles capable of that though? Just
I've seen
throwing someone
flashes.
off.
I've seen flashes. I've seen some fun plays. We always bring up how he mixes in, Major Everhart on some things, and McAllister does have that talent to do that. It's possible. We have yet to see a ton of evidence of that, but I'm just telling you that's what's going to need to happen for us
No,
to.
1,000%. I agree with you. Going back to our defense real quick, a couple names of note that we kind of need to be looking out for BYU. LJ Martin, he has 824
Yeah.
yards on the year, 142 carries, 5 touchdowns. He's a little banged up with a left shoulder injury. So keep an eye on that. Then also their best receiver is Chase Roberts. I believe he's a senior now. He's a guy who I feel like has been there forever. 5 touchdowns on the year, 38 catches, 652 yards. So, like you said, there's really no one who really stands out, but those two and Bogmar are probably the most notable three on that side of the ball.
Yeah, LJ, he does seem banged up. Everything I was reading and looking at last week's game, he just doesn't seem like he's right. So maybe that plays into our favor. But yeah, even and on our side, our injuries keep piling up too. I don't know what the story is between Ed Small. Not that he's a huge part of our offense, but he would be someone that maybe could draw some attention and help out on some fun plays. But he continues to be out too.
Yeah. I mean, Liberman too. I mean, how long has he been out for, man? It's going on and on.
Yeah, right after North Carolina. I'm looking at the over under. It's 51 and a half. To me, that seems a little high. I think Stan's right. It's going to be an ugly, low scoring game.
Can
Yeah.
Lemmerman use a? He only played one game.
Either one or two max.
No, he
Yeah,
didn't even play the ACU game because I was there, and we were like, who's this backup? And
yeah.
he missed one, like a couple, one or two short ones that game. He's actually been a little bit better since, but I mean, he also missed last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a guy you could probably shut down for the rest of the year and save him
yeah.
a red shirt year.
Probably. I just looked, and Barnes already did use his red shirt his first year at UTSA. So
Barnes looks like he's 35 years old.
it
So
does.
Yeah. Austin, just kind of segue here, but one prediction I had earlier this year was Josh Hoover would come back, which you thought was a bit ridiculous of a take at the time. Do we think he comes back? You think it's all but certain?
I think if the season ended today, yes, he is on the TCU roster next year. I just need to see how these last 4 weeks play out, and I don't think he's going to the NFL this year.
absolutely not.
So I just need to see how these last 4 weeks play out. I think they're, I don't know, with all this NIL stuff, who knows what crazy things could happen. Coaching changes. There's just so many variables still, I think. But no, I don't think your take is very crazy. I think odds are he is back with TCU next year.
I would be interested to see what happens to Hoover if Bryles gets fired or moves on to somewhere else, because I think those two are kind of tied at the hip a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think Hoover would be too disappointed if Bryles left either, because clearly something's been off with the offense the whole year. So maybe a new guy coming in would be better for Hoover and for TCU as a whole. So yeah, I think it's just a kind
Well,
of a
yeah.
thing.
Dykes recruited him in high school though, so I mean, they go way back to like when he was out there, what Rockwall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a good trust there still.
Yeah, if Dykes goes, everything's off the table, right? But
You know.
yeah, I don't know. Can Garrett Riley come back? Maybe can we talk about that?
Stan, I was telling Lester in the last episode, Duggan was in his senior year back in 2022. New coach came in, new OC, and he lit the roof off the place. So, if there were to be coaching changes, maybe we get a new head coach. I wouldn't mind that. New OC, I wouldn't mind that. And Hoover has the same fairy tale ending to his college career. That's what I'm praying for.
Yeah, I wouldn't in this environment. It's a different environment than even 2022. I just wouldn't want to have our donors like waste millions of dollars on a buyout when it's just like if we just took that money and put it in NIL, that could honestly be more effective than a coaching change, in my opinion. I mean,
And we've
the
been
NIL.
chatting on the side about that. I think it's more of Dyke's apathy and donors are tired of him, but we all are entitled to our own opinion. And yeah, I could see how you would think that would be a waste of money, but at the same time, I don't think it's okay to accept mediocrity. That's
Well, what is the expectation? Because if only 12 teams make the playoffs, that means only 12 teams can be happy. There's 125 teams in the
well,
whole league. So what, only 10% of the teams can be
expectations are.
happy? I don't know. I
If
mean,
you listen to the head coach, Sonny Dykes has said we should be competing for Big 12
yeah.
championships every year. So that's a 10-2 record, probably at the minimum in the Big 12. So he's failing his own expectations.
Yeah,
I think
I
for
think the
me, yeah,
expectation.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that is the expectation. I know the that's why I was excited for the expanded playoff because it allows your goals to be a little bit more achievable. Otherwise, yeah, what are we just four blue bloods every year making the playoff? There's no reason TCU can't be a top two Big 12 team every year in football. There's absolutely no reason. And we'll see how this season shakes out. Maybe we're in fourth place by the end by while the dust settles. But um, I love keeping our standards extremely high. And anyway, I know that leads to a whole other discussion. But
Yeah, we can't have another venting session for 2 weeks, 2 episodes in a row. Should we just
well,
get into the predictions unless y'all have anything else on BYU?
no, that's I think that's what we have. We have a really sound BYU football team that obviously just lost last weekend, so they're going to be. I'm interested to see what their mindset is with a night game at home. It will be cold, by the way, but not like a snow game like we thought. And then TCU with I don't know if anyone logs online right now, they would see that the TCU football program just doesn't. The vibes are not in a good spot. So I think for me, I'm just really interested to see how these two teams react because it feels like they're just in two different places and it could go two different ways.
Yeah, this is a game where you're going to see if the team is kind of quit or not, I think, and I think it will be pretty noticeable early on. So, yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on. But I'll go ahead and get our prediction started. At the beginning of the year, I had this as a win, really just because Retzlaff left and transferred to Tulane. Um, but I'm going the opposite of what I predicted earlier on this year. I think we lose 27-14. That would get you the under, I believe. Is that correct? Yep, that would give you the under in the game. So yeah, I just think we've seen too many times this offense just sputters on the road in a hostile environment. BYU is going to be pissed off, like Austin said. So I think it's just a recipe for a disaster. I think we hang in the game for a while because our defense will give us a chance. And yeah, I think the second half is just going to open up more for BYU and they win comfortably.
I have a similar prediction. I think we lose as well. I have predicted 21-10. I just don't see us unless we can make some big plays happen, which we know our confidence level there. I just don't see us putting up a ton of points. We know we're going to be scared to kick a field goal, so I can see a few failed fourth down conversions in the red zone. I do think that the vibes will be better in the first half than we think. I don't know why I feel that way. I can just see myself in the stadium at halftime, just texting all of you like, "Oh boy," but then we still end up losing. So I think it'll be a closer game than maybe what 21-10 feels like. But I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Reed.
Oh man, it's such a tough
Oh
decision,
no.
but I don't. I can't go with all three of us going against TCU because that's bad. That's bad vibes. I do like the reverse jinx play, but I'm gonna go 16-13 TCU as like kind of like an opposite flip, just because I mean BYU not that great. This is like a coin toss game to me. So
And
let's
Vegas
just
feels
let's
the
just
same
hope we get
way.
heads.
Yeah, yeah. Vegas feels the same way. Okay, let me ask real quick before we get into our five bets from the rest of college football. I'd ask all of you uh, if we do win, that would mean we're 7-3. and you just beat a good, let's call it a very good BYU team at home.
Very good.
It's a tough win. How do you feel overall with the program at that point? I think I know Reed's answer, but I want to know Stan's.
Well, I think you have to wait until the end of the season. But because I mean, you still have two other games that could go either way, right? You have Cincy, and then you have who else? It's
Houston.
Houston. So I mean, those are two others. I mean, you could literally win all three of these and lose all three of these just as easily.
Right.
That's a big difference. Like 9-3 is like not a bad season at all, and 6-6 would be terrible. So I
Right.
mean, there's still a lot to play for. I mean,
But just grading it on you wake up Sunday and you're 7-3. What are you feeling then about the team, about the program in general?
I mean, it's like
Oh,
a
go
B.
ahead.
It's like a B minus. I mean, if you're 7-3, that's not that bad of a season. I just think what TCU is like the best thing for us is like honestly two like mid seasons and then one pop off season. We're like doing a little like we're doing a little better than okay, but it's not a pop off season, which is what we really want. Like, give me two seasons of 6-6 and then a 12-1, then like three seasons of 8-4, and we're struggling because once you're in that 8-4 territory, you don't realize like four losses, no matter how you lose them, they all suck. Like
Yeah.
there's not going to be a way where you're going to enjoy four losses to like, especially in the current conference and current conference realignment state. Like it's not like we had four great losses. So
Yeah.
there's just never going to be a scenario where we're not happy unless we're 10-2, which is also extremely hard to ask because there's a bunch of other solid programs in our conference like Tech and Utah, and so I just for me the NIL thing is just a big deal, and it just seems like a cloud of mystery knowing how much we spent compared to others. So it's hard to ascertain uh, you know the right grading system when you don't know the salary cap. Like how would you judge the GM of an NFL team without knowing how much they spent?
Yeah. No, that's fair. Tough to know what you're dealing with. That's for
I
sure.
think the main point for me where like all this frustration's coming from is it's 3 years in a row where come November 1st, you're basically already out of it for the Big 12 championship. So it's just that feeling of the November games not being important, which we were so used to under GP up until Lord, we know he fell off too. So I don't know. I just want that feeling back because I know the program has it in it. You're probably not at the top of the Big 12 and NIL, like Stan was just mentioning, but still, you have a lot of good recruits coming into TCU. I just know how good of a place and program TCU can be, and I want it to get it back to where it has been in the past. And I don't think it's really that hard.
Yeah, it's amazing what that Iowa State game does because man, you win that game like you should have, and you could argue. I mean, it was punt return back and some silly mistakes. Win that game, and then you beat BYU. Sunday's episode, we're talking about a very pretty clear path to Arlington. So it's just funny how fast things can change. Um, and yeah, I agree. I agree with both sides of what you guys are saying. It's obviously very disappointing. I need to see how it shakes out. I need to see how this team ends. If we do end up being 9-3 with wins against BYU and SMU and Cincinnati and Houston and heck, West Virginia could end up being a kind of a fun win on the road.
Scotty Fox, baby.
Then that totally changes my mindset on the state of the program. So I guess a lot to be played. We'll have to talk about it then, but we'll never. We'll obviously be happy if we can steal a win and surprise some folks this Saturday. So, all
Can I
right,
hop in real quick?
yeah,
Dan, so you said 16-13, right?
Yeah.
So if we get 3 field goals from McCashlin, I'll take you to a steak dinner. I highly doubt that'll
Well,
happen.
what about two touchdowns and two extra points? Come on, man.
No, no, it has to be 3 field goals.
Hey, three little three bunnies. I could see it with BYU's defense.
That's fair. That's fair.
and Reed didn't tell you, he didn't specify, but the steak dinner is going to be at Texas Roadhouse. He didn't specify that
No, it's a microwavable one.
part.
Salisbury steak.
All right, let's go with the five big bets. I can start off, and I had to sprinkle in my North Texas Mean Green with my first pick. They're back. They traveled to man, big game UAB. They're 17.5-point favorites. I'm being facetious. The UAB is horrible this year. I think UNT covers that with flying colors. So give me UNT there. Oregon is 25.5-point favorites against Minnesota. That game's a Friday night game. Why not? I'm taking Oregon there to blow them out. So give me the Ducks. Surprised you guys didn't. You guys both stayed away from this game, but I'm going to take Notre Dame to cover their 12.5-point spread against Pitt. I don't think Pitt's any good. I've never been a believer in them this year. I know they've had some sneaky good moments, but I think Notre Dame should cover that. They're killing everyone lately. Texas Tech is 23.5-point favorites against UCF. Again, just hopium here. I'm actually going to take UCF because I think that's just too big of a point spread. I keep trying. I'm trying to give Texas Tech some losses here. I keep trying.
I mean, Baylor beat them by like that same margin, and I mean Texas Tech is way better than Baylor. I mean, granted, we're playing the game of of this matchup, but yeah,
it's totally just reverse psychology. I'm trying to get Tech in a battle here. I'm just
no.
trying.
What you got to do is you got to fluff them up like what I did last week with the 10.5 against BYU. Just make them feel real good, and then then they screw up. That's what you got to do.
I rode Tech for like half the year.
Yeah, got to butter them up.
And then my last pick is A&M 19.5-point favorites against South Carolina. I think they cover that. I also just hate Donati, so there's that. And I've been picking A&M lately, and it's been working. So give me the Aggies there.
Stan, go ahead.
Okay, I got Bama -5.5 against Oklahoma. I just don't like Oklahoma. I got Tennessee -38.5 over New Mexico State. This is Tennessee Super Bowl. They like destroy these terrible teams. Like they'll throw up like 50, 60 points with their crazy high flying deep attack. So this is right up their alley.
Yep.
Texas +6.5 against Georgia. Just think it'd be closer than expected. Arch has been a little better recently. We got USC -6.5 over Iowa. Iowa, they actually held Oregon pretty close last week, but
where's that game at?
I believe it's in LA. Yeah. And then Florida +13.5 against the SIP, Ole Miss. So just there, honestly, I mean, Florida is just like one of those teams where they're sneakily better than their record, but they're also not that good. But that's just a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. I think Reed feels differently about that game. Reed, what do you?
Yeah, this is the least confidence I've had in any picks this year. Just a gross slate overall.
You definitely say that every week, by the way.
No, I've said that maybe 2 or 3 times. This is by far the worst. I'm the opposite of Stan. I think Ole Miss crushes Florida -13.5. Florida, I think they're at the point where they've given up. And they just lost to someone they just lost to Kentucky and got smoked. So I think it's going to be a domino effect there. Cincinnati -6.5 at home against Arizona. We've noticed teams, they've been traveling whenever they go East Coast or West Coast. When they're from the opposite, they never play that well. So give me Cincy there. Virginia Tech +14.5 at Florida State. Florida State shouldn't be favored by that much against anyone. Northwestern at home +11.5 versus Michigan. They're sneaky kind of good, and I think that's an 11 a.m. kick. So I like Northwestern to keep it close there. Then South Carolina A&M over 50.5. I think A&M could get 47. So South Carolina just needs a field goal.
That's a creative play. Maybe I should have done that. I think A&M puts up a ton of points on South Carolina, but all right. I like them. The slate this weekend was just okay. I don't know. I don't know why I feel just mad about the slate. There's some on paper, some of these games might seem okay, but I don't know.
This might be the last week where someone can have a bye, so that might be why. I know there's a lot of Big 12 teams on bye this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the late game SEC crapshoot game like Tennessee playing Mexico State. I mean, I don't know, Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Alabama is two pretty good matchups. It's all SEC though. There's nothing else outside of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then us.
Weekend. Yeah. Are you guys going to be? What's your? How are you going to stay up all night?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, do I have permission to stream?
Yeah, because I think we've officially ended that. It's clearly not you. So yeah, stream all you want.
I might be asleep by like 10 o'clock, so I'll be in my pajamas if I do.
You're going to be in your slippers and your candle with your little
Yeah.
nightcap on. No, it's the kickoff time that's diabolical by, of course, the ESPN letting us down again. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, screw them. Y'all got anything else for this game? I forgot to mention shout out to our sponsor Ardiesco Goods. That is spelled Ardiesco. They're from Fort Worth, fully custom hats. They offer the best rope hat options in the game. Use promo code Talkin Toads, all caps, for 20% off their website. So yeah, y'all go ahead and check them out. And before y'all close out listening to our voices here, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment of what you think the game score will be. We're at 110 subscribers, boys. How about that? So if we get to 150 by the end of the year, that'd be great. So yeah, please just make sure to do all that stuff, and we would greatly appreciate that.
Yes. Thanks again, Ardiesco. Shout out women's basketball continuing to kill it. Shout out women's soccer team. I believe they start their NCAA championship run tomorrow night. Shout out men's basketball figuring things out, maybe, ? Big game against Michigan this weekend. And shout out Mavs for firing Nico Harrison. I had to shout that one out. Stan, you got any other sports shout outs you want to just get out for the listeners?
No, not a ton of shout outs. I mean, our women's team also scored 122 points, so it's pretty epic.
I couldn't believe that final score.
I almost won by 90, right?
Yeah,
right, yeah. It was like
Well,
it was almost 100.
Shout out to the Dallas Stars. They're the only Dallas team that's keeping me happy nowadays. So shout out to them. They win by like one goal every night. It's insane.
Hey, what's up with I don't follow baseball as much as you do, Reed. Why did the Rangers manager have a TCU get up on in an interview?
Oh, his son is a recruit for TCU baseball. He committed.
Look at that.
That makes sense. I couldn't figure that out either. I was looking like he went to UC Santa Barbara, so I was like, this guy's got more TCU gear than me. He's like on an interview wearing a TCU hat and like jersey, and like he's got everything.
I don't know his son's name, but shout out. I know he committed.
Well, his name's Skip. Great name, great baseball name.
I know that's the coach's name. I don't know his
name. I know, obviously.
His son's name better be named Skippy or Skip Jr.
Skippy.
Yeah. Hopefully our subscribers are going to the that Globe Life tournament for that should be a good one this year. We got like Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and like stretch of a few games to open the season. So that should be a great start for the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, I can't believe that's already coming up into when we get
to y'all in Omaha.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this episode. Let's see what the Frogs can do. Maybe they can surprise us, and we'll keep on rolling. We'll definitely talk to you. I'll try to talk to you live from Provo. Reed from his couch. Stan can join as well, and we'll talk to you after the game at some point. So, go Frogs, and
go Frogs.
See you soon.